Okay, all right, guys. I'm here with Z-Trip. Thanks for having a little meeting with us, man. Yeah, totally stoked. Okay, one question I got to ask you right away is, where did you get the name Z-Trip?
Well, my name is Zach, so that's where the Z came from. It was in, junior high, I think, or high school. A friend of mine was like, dude, you're a trip. I'm going to call you Z-Trip. I was like, yeah, man, cool, whatever, and like, didn't think it would stick at all, and it totally did. And, because it's funny, most of the time, people don't really choose their own name. Other people choose it for them. And so it's totally storybook. That's the way it happened. Yeah. Had I known this would have turned into a huge career, I would have probably picked something way slicker. And, But
speaking of which, when did you actually get started on this whole trip?
Nice. Nice one. It's very well played. It's funny, I've just always been into music, and it was never really like I wanted to be a DJ. I just always collected music and all kinds of different styles of music. And also, back in the day, in order to get the extended versions of some of these songs, you had to buy the 12 inches. Yeah. So I would go out and I'd buy all the 12-inch versions, and I just accumulated this huge record collection based off of having all the different versions, the acapella, the dub, mix, whatever. And then people would be like, hey man, why don't you bring your records over to our party and play them? I was like, yeah, cool. And that turned into I'll just make a little mixtape. And before I knew it, I just was really mixing and putting all this music together, and it had turned into a love. And I was like, wow, I'm actually, I think the first time I got paid for it, I was like, wow, I can actually get paid for doing this. And then once that happened, I was like, oh, I can buy more records, and just sort of perpetuated into what it is now. I know there's a lot that's missing between then and now, but that's kind of how it started.
What I really want to ask is, when did you actually get started into the actual, you kind of pioneered mashups. Mashups, for me, you're the mashup king. Okay. And when did that kind of did you start off just saying, no, I'm gonna take this song and mix it up with a beat, or, how did that all come about?
It's funny, I think for a lot of people, I'm maybe that first person that they identified with that style of mixing. By no means was I the first person, but it really just goes back to, it's really just mixing. When people call, it's funny, I never called it mashup, and it was never really a term that I really got behind. It was just sort of the term that people could connect with, like trip hop or acid jazz or whatever, you know what I mean? It's so, but for me, it's, when people are like, oh, I'm a mashup DJ, it's like, I've never called myself that, because mashing up music is just mixing music, and that's what a DJ should do. So it's a bit redundant of I'm a mixing DJ. Well, that's what DJs do.
How you like me now? How you like me now? Competition paying the price. How you like me now? How you like me now? Competition paying the price. Competition paying the price.
Before I was ever around, this style of mixing was done, but it was done by people like Bambaataa, Afrika Bambaataa, Jazzy J, Kool Herc, Grandmaster Flash. These are all the guys who they would take all kinds of music and mix it together, and regardless of genre, and that was kind of the staple. When I heard that, I was like, oh wow, I know that's a rock record, and I know this is you know, this funk thing, and they were mixing these two together, and I sort of realized the connection between all music, and that style somehow got lost for a while there. It was like, you go to shows or whatever, it'd be like, here's the drum and bass room, here's the trance room, here's the fucking whatever room, and it's like, you know, that made no sense, because you were splitting up everybody, and it should be all about unity. It's a party. Everybody should be listening to everything and, you know, interacting, and that to me musically is what should be happening, and it always is how I got down.
Promise, make some fucking
This whole thing, the universe has always provided, you know, and I'm a big, I know it's a bit hippie to say, but I'm a big firm believer in that, because you know, I got in this just to play music, and everything that I've done has come not because of me trying to track, you know, get money or pussy or whatever. It's like, it's really just been about music and putting it out there and putting out a lot of good energy out to the crowds of people and making them feel really good that, you know, I somehow get that energy back, and I've been able to sustain a career doing that.
Canada! Are you ready? Get your fucking hands up one time! 1, 2, 24.
Have you ever had like kind of a hiccup when you've done an outdoor festival? Give me a really good one, though. A really good one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this actually could play in tonight. This could actually work out to your benefit, because there's a lot of wind tonight. It's very windy.
Yes, mad wind.
The trailer that we're in has been shaking.
Rocking vigorously right
And back in the day when we were just using vinyl, you know, there'd be the thing where you're just cooking along, the crowd's loving it, and all of a sudden a big gust of wind, this happened at Coachella, big gust of wind came and just knocked the needle off the record went flying, slip mats went flying, and you're like, hey, everybody, you have to instantly get on the mic and be like, hey, so, funny thing happened to me walking down the street the other day, and like sort of like fucking, you know, just getting your records together.
The States nominated you in 2009 as the #1 DJ. Do those kind of titles mean anything to you? Do you kind of, you know, right on, or do you feel that way at all?
No, well, I mean, it's flattering, you know, because, again, it was voted on by the fans, so that is something that meant a lot to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that to me, you know, I was really, really stoked that enough people enjoy what I do that they got behind it to get me there, you know. I was always a little sort of skeptical about those contests, because I was like, oh man, you know, I'd see the same guys win it over and over, and I knew these amazing DJs who never really got their just due, you know, and it was like, how can this DJ A be amazing and this DJ B not really be amazing, and he's winning? Yeah. So for me, I felt like for the whole turntablist background and the hip hop DJ, I kind of felt like I sort of snuck up and sort of, you know, put us out there a little bit, you know, for whatever it's worth.
Oh Lord, don't you buy me?
I just have a blast here. I've always loved it, and I think the first time I ever played in Canada was actually in Vancouver.
Oh, really?
Of all places.
Oh, wow.
It was actually on a radio show called the Crispy Biscuit Radio Show, if you know that.
Never heard of that.
So old school.
The Crispy Biscuit.
Yeah, it was a hip hop radio show. It was the first radio show I'd ever done out of my hometown. And
Was that AM or FM?
no, it was FM with DJ Kilo C. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Remember? Right? Yeah. It's forever ago, like forever ago.
Canada, 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 Canada. I thought this was motherfucking Canada.
And it's funny because I recorded the show and made a little mixtape cassette, and went around the world, you know, and sort of gave the cassette away. So people in like Germany and whatnot were getting this little snippet of the hip hop radio show in Vancouver, blasted around the way. Yeah, so,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Make some motherfucking noise right now. Fuck that, you know what? Let's fucking use it. Get out of your mind. Get out of your mind. Get out of your mind. Fuck that shit. Get out of your mind. Get out of your mind. Canada.